impression of the character of Shane? Because you said you wanted to be involved with The Walking Dead. So when did Shane rear his head as the character you were going to play, and what did you think of him?
You know, at first, they were seeing people for both Rick and Shane, so you had to audition for both of them. And strangely enough, he cast Shane first. And I really dug the character. I dug that he started out in a police car sharing a burger with his best friend, and they were sharing a pile of ketchup, and he was there, just totally there for his friend, being the most sort of loyal and open guy possible, just trying to get his friend to communicate. And I thought, how cool to start this character there and have him end up this sort of raging sociopath from the book. And I love that it was all rooted in loyalty and in love, because it's the groundwork for a really, I sound like such a pretentious douche, but it's like it sets the groundwork for a really, really cool character to start there and end up where I knew he was going to have to end up from the comic, you know?
So you read at one point for Rick as well.
Yeah, I did, man. Yeah, and but once I read that opening monologue about women and lights and stuff like that for Shane, I was like, oh, that's the part. That is so cool. And then it was so cool because then I got to read with all the different guys auditioning for Rick, and I got to sort of see them all. And when Andy Lincoln came in, it was just like, boom, that's the guy, and that was really cool.
Well, so I got to ask you, we won't tell anybody, sorry, but how do you think Andrew Lincoln would have done as Shane? Would he have been any good?
He's all British and shit. Yeah, he would have. I'm gonna tell you, I don't think there's anything that guy can't do. You know, he's not only. I mean, everybody on The Walking Dead. You know, he's not only a wonderful actor, but he's a great man, great father, great husband, and he's, you know, I love him, as I do all the people on that show. As I love that freaking Norman Reedus, wherever the freak you are, man. That's over here, man.
Well, I think I can speak on behalf of this entire room. You were the perfect person to play Shane.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
We want to try an audience question here.
Yeah, so there's Michelle. There she is. So raise your hand if you're near, and we'll get a microphone to you. And hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Where are you at, man? Oh, there you go.
Okay, we all know how the show ended on the season. What's going to happen with you? Does Shane have a brother Dwayne or anything?
That's awesome. Yeah, right. Yeah, right to the writers. You know, look, you know, I don't know. I don't think he has a brother Dwayne, man, or Wayne for that matter. You know, look, you know, I went on to do Frank Darabont, the guy who started Walking Dead. I went on to go do his new series, L.A. Noire, and we shot the pilot of that. Right now, I'm in New York. I'm shooting, actually, lucky enough, I'm shooting the new Martin Scorsese movie, like, as we speak. That's why I got this goofy beard. And so I'll shoot this until January, and then we'll go back to L.A. Noire. So I think you know, I don't know how much carryover those two shows are really gonna have, man. But I'd love to go back. I love that show and the people that make it with all my heart, man.
Did you know right from the get-go that Shane's days would be numbered?
Yeah, like they said in the beginning, you know, Shane's not gonna make it for too long, and there's nothing like, you know, I fought like hell to get to audition for this part, and I read the script, I want to be in it so bad, and I met this great cast, and I met Frank Darabont, and I was like, oh, I want this so bad. It was so great, and they're like, oh, by the way, it's based on this comic, check it out. And like, I sit down, I open, I'm like, holy guacamole, this motherfucker is dead, like dead fast. So, I mean, I was really happy and excited that they let me last as long as they did, because I didn't know whether I was going to make it. Oh, my phone's ringing. I bet this is Norman. Oh, no, it's my lady. Shit.
Go ahead and take it.
All right. Maybe I gotta go like that. Hey, baby, fly safe.
How about a big
guys.
When you saw that Shane died in the comics, were your words literally "holy guacamole"?
You know, there's kids in the audience, so I don't know. But yeah, you know, I mean, as you do, you take a magazine, or in this instance, a comic book, into the bathroom when you do your thing, and I think it only lasted one trip to the bathroom. And he was gone. I'm like, so much for this source material. But yeah, it was a bummer, and it made me, you know, like I think one of the cool things about Walking Dead, one of the very many cool things about being on that show and being part of that cast and that crew, is everyone who's down there realizes how lucky they are to be there. It's an incredibly game group of people. It's not your typical Hollywood. There's no BS there. There's nobody who puts on airs. Everybody loves the show, believes in the show, believes in the story, and we all know how lucky we are that we've got you guys behind us, because it's a show we all believe in, and the fact that there's an audience, it lets those guys still do the show. And you know, I think that it's a hard thing when you love something that much and you know you're going to have to leave it. But you know, lucky for me, I knew from the beginning that my days were very much numbered, and I'm really grateful that they didn't just let Shane be that kind of one-dimensional sort of crazy ass from the comic, and they let it be grounded in something that he was trying to do the right thing all the time. That's all I wanted for this character, is I wanted him to be real. I didn't want him to be like a villain, you know, and I hope that resonated, and I hope he ends up being a figure that tortures, you know, Rick and the Grimes family for many years to come. You know?
Well, you went a tour de force, man. It was awesome. Another question from the audience. If you just put up your hand, I think there's one right toward the front here. Michelle, right there. Yeah.
Hi. In season 3, when you guys were gonna let the teenager go, there was a zombie in the field. I never really got that.
Yeah, the zombie in the field. You know, I don't know. I didn't get that either. But I think that a lot of what that is you know, the way I looked at it, and I don't want to sound like a total nerd here, but hey, you know, I think that one of the yeah, fair enough, bro. I think that, you know, one of the main things for Shane, and one of the main sort of themes of the show is loneliness, and I think Shane especially, all these characters suffer from a certain element, a certain degree of loneliness. I think Shane suffers from this very specific kind of loneliness, and that's, you know, there's loneliness when you're far away from the people you love, or you've lost the people you love. But with Shane, he's right there with the people who he loves more than anyone else in the world. He just can't be with them the way that he wants to be with them, and that's a biting loneliness. That's that kind of loneliness you feel in 7th grade when you're in love with Mary Palmer and she's sitting 3 desks away. You see, I really felt this shit, you know what I mean? And like, you know, but she'll never love you the way you love her, but like magnify that by 1,000,000, and that's kind of what Shane's going through. And I think there's always this idea through season 2 that, you know, he should just pick up and run. He should pick up and walk off. One, because I think he wants to show the people in the group how valuable he is to them. Oh, what would you do without me? But 2, I think a big part of him knows. I think he feels so much shame for what he's done, and that he slept with Rick's wife, and I feel like he feels he's turning into a cancer for the group. And there's this recurring thing of, I'm just going to run off, I'm just going to go off on my own. And to see this lone zombie in the field, I think for Shane, because it's really Shane who sees the zombie, he's just like, wow, what a horrible way to go out. You know, I mean, what a horrible road to hoe, and look how far gone the world is. That there's this. And I think mostly, it was just a really cool shot, and they wanted to put it in.
You mentioned Mary Palmer from school. Was that her on the phone?
No, hells no, man. No, that was not Mary Palmer, no.
Let's talk for a second about that final scene, if you don't mind, Jon. Is it true that you were so focused on the pre-zombie part that you maybe forgot to prep a little bit for the actual zombie part?
Yes, that is entirely true. Yeah, I do not know how to. I am quite a preparation freak, and I did not. I totally forgot that I had to play a zombie, and I was like, well, how do you do that? And because the zombies go to zombie school, and they do. I mean, they really do. They do like zombie physicality, and they know how they were bit and all this shit or whatever. And
Guacamole.
yeah, and I don't know. I never went through that. And so I said to him, like, how do you like? I haven't played a monster since I was a little kid. You know, I was like, Rick, you know, I didn't know how to. But anyway, I hope it worked out.
So did Greg Nicotero, the amazing effects makeup
That's my
master,
man,
did he teach you how to be a zombie?
There was no time. That was the point. They were just like, okay, so now you got to be a zombie. I'm like, I have to be a zombie? And they're like, yeah. They're like, you're gonna shoot me playing a zombie? They're like, yeah, you got to do it. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. Yeah, there was no time to really talk about it. Yeah.
Another question?
Do you and Dale still go at each other's throats?
Say it again.
Do you and Dale still go at each other's throats?
Well, you know, Jeff is he's over on the new show. He's over on LA Noir with me, and yeah, it's pretty cool. He followed Frank, you know, and so that guy is such a man. I love that man, and he's so damn good, and is such a great guy to learn from and have around. And yeah, I think we'll probably end up going at each other's throats in this new show too, which would be pretty cool. Yeah.
I have to ask, going forward in this next season, how do you think that Rick is going to change as a result of Shane no longer being there? Because, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm alone on this, but to me a lot of times, until the last couple of episodes, Rick sometimes was just sort of inefficient about making decisions. And you were really, you know, I felt like I had a fierceness.
Yeah, I think that's the deal. I mean, I think that's the deal, and I think what you'll see, I think Andy Lincoln had the courage and the patience and the temperance as an actor to play that, because I think what all actors want to do is they want to be flashy and they want to be showy and they want to go for it. He eased off the throttle and sort of played, not knowing what the right thing to do and to be sort of caught in the middle. And I think you saw in the last episode, which is so cool, because when they kill you off The Walking Dead, they kill your ass off. They're like, pack up your shit and get out. And so I never even read the last episode. I had no idea what was going to happen. I was so excited when I was home. I was like, oh, I get to watch this like a fan. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen. And it was pretty rad. And I saw the episode. I saw the changes that were going on in Andy. And he cares about this, as we all do. He cares about the job so much. And I think he's going to let Shane, and the loss that he suffered, it's going to start affecting him. I think he's going to become... It was weird, because I saw a lot of Shane in Rick in that last episode. I saw the way he was making decisions, and he was like, cut that out, like it's got to be this way. It's, it's a Rick-tatorship, and I'm really excited to see where he goes. I say the same about Norman and Sarah Wayne Callies. I mean, they're some of the most exciting actors, I think, working today. And I'm not just saying that because they're my friends. It's just, I loved watching them work, being with them, and now I can't wait to watch them work in my living room,
Another question from the floor?
Well, now you're looking at the series as a fan, what do you think now of the new premise that now they don't have to be bitten by the zombies to be turned into zombies? How do you think that's going to affect the new season?
Man, I don't know. I'm so glad that's not my problem. Oh shit. I don't know. It's a crazy thing, and I think it's gonna be one of the main challenges, I think, for the writers to track that. I think it's a pretty dark, twisted idea that the disease is in all of us, and I think that we were hinting at it, along the way, and I think I would imagine this next season it's gonna really come out that we're already, we are the Walking Dead, and that's right from the comic, Does that answer your question, dude? I don't know. Sorry. Fair enough.
Hello.
Hi.
What does your shirt say?
Oh, this is my zombie killing shirt.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. Huge fan. Thank you so much for all the work you did on the 2 seasons that you were on. Second season, I believe that there was a flashback with you and Laurie on the highway. Was that second season?
Yeah.
So
There's two flashbacks.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You and Lori. So I'm just saying, like, is there a possibility? Because like flashbacks can happen when you're dead.
Yeah. You know, like, you know, I'm doing this new show, you know, so it's gonna be, you know, people from different networks would have to agree to that, you know, and that doesn't happen too much, you know what I mean? So I hope so. I would love that, you know. I would love that, you know.
Can I get you to say, you sound like my goddamn father?
Oh shit. I don't even know how to do it. You sound like my goddamn father. Like that.
I want to ask you about zombies. You touched on this, but it's part of the brilliance of Robert Kirkman's source material that you do realize that The Walking Dead is actually a reference to the people and not the zombies. But in terms of zombies, as a storytelling vehicle, why do you think we're infinitely fascinated with them?
Why do we dig zombies?
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, you know, look, I think that we dig, you know, again, not to be a total pretentious, like douchey film nerd, but like I think that, you know, zombie movies have always. The zombie apocalypse has always been a metaphor for, you know, whatever sort of cataclysmic apocalyptic thing is ailing us at the time, whether it was racial injustice or the nuclear holocaust or the environmental disaster, whatever that is. And I think, you know, what's really kind of rad about it is that we're always just a couple steps away from one of these terrible catastrophes. I know that's like super dark, but it's really the case. And so I think that, you know, unlike other kind of monsters or sci-fi things, I think zombies are slow-moving, they're all-encompassing, and they're only really dangerous when you're in way too deep and they're all around you, just like sort of one of these big major kind of catastrophes would be. And so I think what it does is it kind of like pulls off the veneer of everyday life and says, you know, screw your phones and screw your, you know, the relationships and your jobs and your stresses, and like, what if it was just about survival? What if it was just about protecting the people you love? And I think that's an inherent thing that, you know, God, this is ridiculously pretentious, but like, I just think that, like, you know, as human beings, we all really wonder about that. I think the thing that I love hearing from fans of The Walking Dead is, you know, they say, like, wow, I really feel like in an apocalypse I would be more like you, or I would be more like...
Excuse me. I have a question.
That's normal.
I heard this crazy rumor that it was Daryl's baby.
You're such an asshole, dude. Where have you been? Where are you? Where are you, man?
I mean, Daryl's the one that's getting all the action, you know what I mean?
It's Daryl. They're doing a spin-off to Daryl and Dale's story.
Norman Reedus, everybody!
How do you get up there? Take it out? I'm gonna smoke a cigarette bar in this.
So that was pretty cool. Norman Reedus!
Oh, right on. We just double kissed.
Yeah, she got me with that joke.
We do that in Canada.
Thanks for coming out.
Hey, yeah, no, we were doing the photo line. And
Dude, is that my sweatshirt? This is my fucking sweatshirt.
I don't think so.
Dude,
That's
I've been
Dave's
missing
sweatshirt.
my sweatshirt that's just like that. I stole it in Georgia. Stole it in Georgia. It looks good on him.
But check this out. Look at this. This is my favorite part. Larry fucking David.
Do you want to jump right in with this lovely lady?
Yeah, sure. I think
Could you get a bit closer to the mic there?
you both play very manly men.
Very manly.
And you showed an amazing range of emotions throughout, even for you until the bitter end, Jon. At the last minutes of life, like you were still showing how much you cared about everyone. And I wondered if from either one of you're too cute.
Manly men.
You're too cute. You notice I didn't mention Rick there. Did you draw on any personal experiences to help you with that, or?
With the end bit, with the
No, with being able to carry off the depth of character.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all, have to go from, draw from personal experiences for sure, for me, some of the people I care about most in the world are my best friends that I've known my whole life, and I think that a big part of Shane is how much he loves this man and loves that family, and I think I think for Shane, it needed to always come from that, never trying to be a villain, never trying to be a bad guy, but loving a friend and loving my friend's family is something I can tap into pretty easily. Thank you.
I want to ask you, Norman. Where do you feel like your character's head is at? Where's Daryl's head at the end of season 2?
Where's your head at?
Where's your head at?
He and Rick actually, after all this has gone down, have become pretty tight. He and Carl have become really tight. Melissa, Carol's character, real tight. I think you imagine growing up with a big brother like Merle, you're constantly like put down all the time and put in your place, and I think now that sort of world is gone for him, he's kind of being appreciated for the first time by other people, and I think it's making him want to fight, keep these people alive and, be part of this group, and I think it's a big, am I echoing?
It's crazy, dude.
Boom! Wow. That's so cool. I feel like I'm on drugs. He's happy with this new group of people who, his brother's coming back and he'll be pissed and it'll be weird.
Return of Merle. He's coming back.
Yeah, that redneck brother of mine will be back.
Oh, great.